It's Monday. Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome to this. Welcome back for another Monday night. Oh, we're getting too excited. It is League One roundup on the channel tonight. We have lots of games to discuss from the weekend. All the games are discussed. We're going to have a minute or so on every game as well. So every team will get mentioned in this stream as well. We'll have a look at the League One table because it's hotting up at both ends. I think we are tightening up the grip for safety and the top six as well. More teams at the weekend probably ended their season or revived it in some ways as well. But we can't do this show alone, can we? He's been impressive lately. After talk to the ball, we're going to, continue that loan spell. We got him on an emergency loan for a week just to help out with things around here. We have got the best co-host in the land, but unfortunately, Jules and the Blood didn't want to come on today, so we've got Jake. How are we, mate?
I'm not going to settle for that, Ben. No, I'm good, mate. Lincoln won on the weekend. I had a couple of beers, and we're all Gucci.
Absolutely. Hello, all. Hope you're all well. Again, I never feel like more singing the blues when Fleetwood win and the mighty Lashes lose. I've had worse weekends. I bet, Tony, well, even the Tractor Boys ain't going to happen this year now. We're going to come on to them in a minute. But thank you for everyone that tunes in. As you do come in, guys, please give it a like and subscribe. These shows this season, they have got better and better in terms of views and people joining and subscribing off them as well. And we can't do it without you. Now, whatever happens this year, League One will continue. This will continue. We've got Jake on board, so we've at least got one League One fan on board next year. If I'm still here after watching Fleetwood on the last day of Bolton, if it comes to that. But there will still be content coming, and they've got loads of League One content videos coming as well. And Jake, hopefully going to be a part of those two. So get subscribing to this channel as well. We're so close to 9,000 subscribers. Also hit that like button, and also go and find Jake at the Stacey West podcast. We'll be filming after this game to talk all things Lincoln and Fleetwood. But first, should we dive into some League One action, Jake?
Yeah, we might as well, Ben. Where did you want to pick up? Because there's quite a lot of results that were quite fascinating this weekend.
Absolutely. We'll start off with Wigan against Bolton. Again, Bolton, this season, they've been up and down, haven't they, Jake? For me, you look at them, they started, a bit ropey. They scored a lot of goals, but conceded a lot of goals. I think they drew 3-3 away at Wimbledon. They drew 3-3 at home to MK Dons. They went to Cheltenham and one went to Ipswich and won. The first 20 games of the season, they only won 7. In the last 20, they've won 10. So there is an improvement. They picked up 26 points in the first 20, 33 in the last 20. Considering that continues a bit of an awful run towards the back end of the first 20 and the start of the last 20. It's been an all right season for them. But they're playing Wigan, who've probably got the best squad in the league overall. No, he never won't be happy about saying that, will he? McLean scored his 9th goal of the season, 33.3%, coming against Bolton. He owns Bolton, in his own words. Powers up to 9 assists now as well, which is good. And the one thing is, Jake, with Wigan, we were speaking after the Sunderland game, weren't we? How would they react? But they've done it again. They've won 4, drawn 2. I know they're against sides around them or below them in the table, but a great response by Wigan. Where do you see this game going at me as a 1-1 draw?
Yeah, look, it's a local derby as well, and Wigan and Bolton are up the road from one another. And when you have these games, it tends the form goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know when we play clubs like Grimsby and Mansfield, form completely goes out the window. You'll be the same with little clubs like Fylde and whoever your derbies are. Yeah, and ultimately it's a really good response from Wigan, isn't it? To win 4, draw 2. Everyone said, well, they've got all these games in hand, and they're showcasing that they are definitely going to be in the top 2 come 4 weeks' time when the season finishes. Obviously James McLean got a bit of stick off the Bolton fans, but that's another goal for him against Bolton. Like he put on his Instagram story, I just found it hilarious. But you got to give credit to Bolton because they scored late so many times this season, that I can think of recently. Crewe, they scored late away at. Morecambe, they scored late away at. And we did it again. John Daddy Budvarsson came in January from Millwall, really established championship striker. And it was that really clever movement at the back post to just head it in. And Limbs in the Bolton away end, really good following from Bolton as well, which you'd expect for a game 5 minutes up the road, but still, probably it shows where Bolton are more than it shows where Wigan are, because it shows that Bolton can keep pace with the best in the division. And Ian Evatt will definitely be taking positives out of that when they're regrouping for League One again next year.
Absolutely. I think any point for Bolton now is a good one. It's a point up the table, they're finishing higher, and again, they've come back and they can rebuild for next year. I think the main aim for them is getting the players that have come in and done really well for them, like Trafford, keep him, and Marlon Foster, I think is out for the rest of the season, get him back, because he's been a revelation. I think probably Tony asked last week about the best loan signings. I put him up there in the top 5. I think he's got to be up there with Burton, Selina, and also Callum Wright at Cheltenham. But again, just the only thing I don't like about that board, Ralston, is that Iceland club, absolutely horrific, and it should not be anywhere near the English football. And you say about little derbies, Rafael, bless you, trying to get up for the game tomorrow, and you won't come because it's past 12 o'clock. But, we won't mention that, Jake. Accrington, Cheltenham. Cheltenham, I think, had a really good season. Now, I'd put Duff right up there in my top 3 managers of the season. The other one has to be Liam Richardson. I think he's got to be up there, and Liam Manning. I think you've also, the third one is either Duff or Mark Bonner at Cambridge, and they've both done really well. 4-2 down at the weekend. They come back to draw 4-4. Now, Wright gets his 8th goal of the season. That's 12 and 48 overall since coming in January last year as well. Alfie May scores goals, and he scored, I think it's 21 goals in 48 games. Before that, he only scored 22 in 73, so he's massively up those scoring charts, which you want from an Alfie May, who does so much more than score goals. He'll run in behind. I think he's one of the best number 9s in League One for what he does. He's like a Scott Twine, the way he operates. But Accrington, I think you'd be disappointed being 4-2 up and then drawing 4-4. Their season has fizzled out, a bit like Burton's, really.
Yeah, I mean, Alfie May will get the plaudits, obviously, for scoring another goal, but Will Boyle, take a bow. That goal in the 96th minute, finished it like a striker, didn't he? Yeah. I do want to give it a shout out. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we said we saw the good and the bad of Tommy Lee at Accrington. Obviously, a young lad coming through from Bognor Regis. Another 2 goals for him, really impressive. And my mate getting on the score sheet as well in his own goal. But Ellis Chapman came through our academy, played against him a couple of times.
You do have friends.
Hey? Oh, I do, mate. I do. I'm
by the way, Tony, just quickly, I think he has 1 more year. He signed a 2-year deal, I believe, with an option of a third. It was either 2 or a 3-year deal, I think.
Well connected. Go on, Ellis Chapman putting through his own net. And then, the character that we should be used to this, Ben, because if you watched Cheltenham under Michael Duff last year, they were full of character, and 4-2 down, going into the 90th minute. Callum Wright, excellent season on loan from Leicester, showing how sending a player to the same club again for a second loan spell can really kick on and work. And then Will Boyle, as I say, I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, but he's took a touch. He's played a 1-2 with Alfie May at the edge of the box, took a touch, rifled it right in the corner. And yeah, fair play to him, because it's a really good finish for a centre-half.
Absolutely. And, Fleetwood have also had a couple of those types of players. Callum Connolly, we had him on loan, and we had him on loan again. He's now at Blackpool, and Harry Suter again. I know he's injured at the minute. He's gone and represented Australia. He's the most Scottish Australian player I'll ever see. But again, he's played for his country, and I think he was captain for Stoke for a period of time as well. Unfortunately, had that defining injury. But again, good point for both sides overall. It's good to see goals going in. Cheltenham 1, Lincoln 2. I said they'd get something away at Charlton. You weren't so sure. I think the best thing is Scully getting a goal. I know he's been out injured. It's his first in 12 games, which is a nice thing to have. When your main man gets his goal, we said last week with Gregory, could that kick him on now and help the team? Do you think that'll help? Do you think that'll help the whole team in the goal? It's more than 3 points.
I mean, it was a bit of a weird game, Ben. Just on Scully, obviously, he's been in and out of the team recently, been on the bench. Do you know, his goal, funnily enough, Ben, was, I remember you got a really good clip of it when we played you in August, when it come off the crossbar and the post and into that corner. Exactly the same finish, which Scully's done time and time again this year. Hopefully he can kick on. But no, a really weird game. Obviously, we took the lead half an hour in Morgan Whittaker. We said we saw the good and the bad of Lee the other week at Accrington. We saw the good and the bad of Whittaker, unfortunately. Really good finish. And then, I mean, it was horrendous, the tackle. Definite red card for me. Hopefully, it doesn't shatter his confidence too much. And obviously, Scully getting a goal. Really good for him. Hopefully, he can kick on. But the massive talking point, Ben, was Liam Bridcut back in the team, back on the starting 11. Lincoln City win. It doesn't make much, it's easy. It's easy work. Liam Bridcut is amazing at this level, and he's such a general. We've so missed him. And then obviously Jaden Stockley goes and scores to ruin it all. And then Connor Washington, Ben, maybe 3 minutes into stoppage time, comes within that close of putting one inside the post, and I'm thinking, oh my God. And
you're killing me, lad. You're killing me.
And then, the full-time whistle goes, and it's not safety yet. I don't think we win. Yeah. We win tomorrow night. I think we're safe, but it feels a long way. As in, we've gone a long way to getting there. So really good result. That's a double over Charlton this year. We've not won at Valley Parade in over 70 years. So good to go down there and win, and ultimately secure safety, because we've got to 45. We think someone's going to go down on 43, don't we? So. Touch and go, but hopefully they can back it up tomorrow night.
Yeah, I do think it'll be around 43, 44 points, which is ridiculous, really. And we talk about big wins at the bottom. Now, Crewe won, Fleetwood 3. Now, I'm not going to be as short as possible on this. Fleetwood should win at Crewe. That's all I've heard this week. And, you're only beating Crewe. Well, they did it. They won by 3 goals to 1. They should have beaten Doncaster. They didn't. They should have picked up something away at Wycombe with the way they played. They didn't. They should have beaten Burton 2-0. They didn't. They should have got something away at Portsmouth. They didn't. They've done something that they haven't done for weeks and win. Now, that's more than 3 points because it gives you confidence going into the last 7 games of the season. Now, I look at the 7 games and I think you've got to label points from 4 of them. And no disrespect to Lincoln, Gillingham, Wimbledon and Accrington. I think they're the 4. And then I think you go to Bolton away. I think you can go at home to Sheffield Wednesday. And go at home to Oxford with really, if you get anything out of that, you're all right. But it's Fleetwood, so it's a good win. When the going went tough, they got those goals. They wouldn't have won against any other side on Saturday, in my opinion. I thought because Crewe was so bad and they were poor. Yeah. They've now lost 30 of the last 14 games. Crewe, they're absolutely horrific. They've lost the last 8 home games, which is bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. They've only scored 4 in that recent run as well. Long's 8th goal of the season was a good one. Fleetwood's next 3 games are at home. Starting tomorrow, I do think Fleetwood need 4 points out of the next 2 games if they want to be safe by the last day, in my opinion, Jake.
Yeah,
Lincoln at home and Accrington at home, by the way.
Yeah, given how the table's looking, Ben, I mean, only really bad teams go and let Crewe beat them at Gresty Road, don't they? So, unfortunately, that was us a couple of months ago. But no, you're looking at, you've got 7 games left. If you can get 8 or 9 points from those 7 games, which I think you're well within your rights. So I think you're writing Sheffield Wednesday off at home as a game where you can't pick anything up. That is exactly the kind of game Sheffield Wednesday slip up on, Ben. So I wouldn't.
They draw a lot away from home. They're not great, are they?
And I wouldn't sort of. I mean, obviously tomorrow night and the games against Wimbledon and Gillingham, those 2 are massive.
It's Fleetwood though, because this year we played some of our best stuff against the better sides. Fleetwood's record, by the way, against the bottom 4 is actually quite good. Out of 7 games, we've won 4, drawn 2, lost 1. And that loss, we lost in the last minute in a Lancashire derby in front of 1,200 away fans by someone scoring in their own half. So,
but Ben, if you don't lose, if you keep Gillingham, if you draw with Gillingham and you say you beat Wimbledon and you draw with Gillingham, that's keeping them at arm's length for now, isn't it? That is all you need to do. All you need to do now is keep Gills, keep Morecambe, keep Wimbledon, arm's length.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good result for those around us and a great result for Fleetwood at the weekend. And you could see by Pilkington, Batty and Ellis Harrison coming on. Harrison missed an absolute sitter, by the way, at 1-1. And I just looked to my hand, I thought, oh no. And then when you've got quality of Paddy Lane, Callum Camps, and then you've got physical players like Ellis Harrison and Anthony Pilkington, they're always going to do absolute damage. And we talk about damage, emotional damage for Ipswich at the weekend. It was the third home loss of the season. All I've seen is Ipswich fans be absolute. It'd be a bit over dramatic. Oh, it's not a derby. I don't care if it's not a derby. Cambridge have come frustrated. You got 3 points. I don't care if the time wasted. You're 1-0 up away from home. This is what I don't get when people go, "Oh, the time wasted," or you deserve to. You go 1 up away from home against a big football club. You are going to do it.
Yeah.
You're like if Ipswich needed a win at the last game of the season, or needed a win at Rotherham to get 3 points to carry on their playoff charge. Unlikely now. You'd be wasting time. And do not lie to me and say you won't, because you will.
Yeah.
Again, now I've got their home record in front of me. 11 games. I haven't got the one that they've lost, the 3 games. I haven't got the 10 wins. It's the 8 draws. And I look at that, who they've drawn against. Cheltenham at home. You look at, I think they drew to Oxford at home. They've drawn, too many games at Portman Road this season. Now, if you turn 3 of those into wins, they'd be in the playoffs. And that is where they flipped up. It's as simple as that. They've stopped stopped leaking goals at the back. They've only conceded 6 in 16 games. It's McKenna's first loss at home, Jake. But this just shows you the season that Cambridge were having. They can go to anywhere and get a result. When you've got Smith, when you've got Ironside, when you've got a Wes Houlihan, and of all players, it's the player that we bigged up as one of the best players in the league since January. Dominic Thompson put it in his own goal.
Yeah. No, like you say, mate, really impressive from Cambridge. Great finish from Thompson as well. Apart from a goal that Ipswich had rightly disallowed for an offside, they didn't really create anything either. I think Ipswich fans will say that their playoff charge is probably over. We think so, don't we? 6 points is too big to make up over 6 games, especially when you've got the likes of Sunderland, Wycombe, Oxford, all with a game in hand on you as well. It's going to be difficult for them, but no, credit to Cambridge. They can go there. The thing is, Cambridge, when they can do this to teams, can't they? They can go and frustrate the living hell out of you and come away 1-0 winners. It's a really good skill for them to have, and Mark Bonner will be really impressed with that. And it just epitomises, perhaps in one game, the reason why Ipswich aren't quite good enough for the playoffs and why Cambridge have had the season that they've had.
Yeah, absolutely. I do worry for Cambridge next year to see can they do it again. I certainly think they can, but you're looking at Crewe this year and you're thinking, that's all I'm going to say. I agree. Now, what I've described it to Charles, say you got a massive box of lemons, and they say to you, right, you've got to pick out the mouldy ones and keep the good ones. Now, Ipswich, in that box, is 30 lemons, right? There's 15 good ones, but 15 mouldy ones as well. The 15 good ones are quite good, and you could make a squad around that you need to have 6 or 7 players. And then the 15 mouldy ones aren't good enough, taking a huge chunk of their wage budget, because the amount they're spending to agents, the amount they're spending in the summer on wages was too much. And maybe that's why they didn't go and get the cavalry that they probably needed in January. So I think in the summer, a clear out is needed. The mouldy, cut lemons and the mouldy, Paul Lambert lemons, and go and get McKenna's in, because he's just going to be a bit more fresher to join the actual good ones. I know it's a weird comparison, but that's what it is.
Ben, is Macaulay Bonner a bad lemon? Because if he is, I want some horrific lemonade, please.
No, I don't think he is. I think he's a player shot of confidence that you've seen his quality, in the first 3 or 4 months of the season, where he scored a lot of goals, and just for some reason,
not worked.
Different managers and different styles, and the way you play a game has suited different players, like Burton and Selina, like a Chaplin, like Wes Burns, for example, like Janai Dineshi, and they've all come up. Walter in goal's been brilliant with a back 3, but he just won that. There's always going to be players that fall victim to it, and for me, that's what I think he does. I think he will be good. I think he's only on loan, isn't he? So I don't think he'll be there next year. I don't think Piggott, Norwood, I don't think any of the strikers they've got at the football club really now will be there next season. I don't think Jackson will be there. I don't think Norwood will be there. I don't think Piggott will be there. And I don't think Bond will be there. I think that's the area that next season they have to go and get someone, go and play on Morecambe's weaknesses. If they go down, go to them. Or not, go and get Alfie May. If they go and get Alfie May next year, they'll win the league. 100%.
Yeah,
they go and get Alfie May.
I'm with you.
He is. I know I speak highly of him, but he suits the way Ipswich play 100%. We're going to go off them now because we always talk about Ipswich. Morecambe, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fleetwood win, Morecambe win. I thought they'd both win, if I'm honest with you. Genoa, Stockton, Phillips. Good thing about that, Jake. Stockton gets his 20th goal of the season, also assists a goal. Phillips gets another goal as well. I think he's 13 goal contributions this season. It's their 6th home win of the season. But Burton, only 1 win in 8, lost 6. In those 6, they conceded 22 goals. They conceded 18 in the last 6 games as well. They've only won 4 games away from home this season. They've drawn 4 and lost 13. A big result for Morecambe, but against the Burton side that is, the season's ended.
Yeah, Burton are on the beach, aren't they? And it was really important for Morecambe that obviously with Fleetwood winning, they weren't to know that, and Wimbledon losing, but and Gillingham losing. Obviously, they're not to know that, but it's important that they pick up 3 points. And yeah, Burton are bad, aren't they? They are lucky that that we are so close to the end of the season as to what we are, because if the season goes on another 5-10 games, Ben, Burton could well have found themselves.
I bet you're thinking, extend it, my
that's exactly what. Yeah. No, and I mean the tackle. They weren't helped. Connor Shaughnessy, horrendous tackle. It's a red card. And look, the goals came either side of half time, so it was a close contest. The game was quite tight, but it's just that 7-minute spell around either side of half time that absolutely caused the damage. And Carl Stockton and Adam Phillips have sort of shown, haven't they, over the season that they're plenty good enough. Arthur Ganoa is a player I saw while he was at Kidderminster, really impressive there. It's good that he's settled in at a Football League club as well. So. No, really important that Morecambe kept up with you lot, and then extended. They sort of got closer to Gills, and then away from Wimbledon.
Yeah, also getting rid of that goal difference that they've weakened lately, and also keeping a clean sheet. We are coming to MK Dons. Don't you worry. I agree about Burton. When you lose Atkins, when you lose Jebison, and then you lose those big powerhouse centre forwards types of players. I always thought it was going to be a tough ask for Burton this year, if I'm honest with you. MK Dons again. Twine now got 15 goals and 11 assists. The man's a joke. You got Moelsa on 12 goals. So 11th home win of the season. They've won 23 games this season, which is unbelievable. 79 points, Jake. They've won 7 of the last 8 games, which, again, brilliant. Only 1 defeat in 19. And that's, by the way, it's the Doncaster, who are 23rd in the league, which is bizarre. And this is a good win because Shrewsbury's got the 4th best defence in League One. Only the top 3 in Rotherham, Wigan and MK Dons have got a better defence than them. So scoring 2 rarely happens against Shrewsbury, really. They've won the last 3 games as well. They kept 3 clean sheets as well. Only 16 points away from home, though, for Shrewsbury this season. So that's a bit disappointing, but brilliant win at home.
Yeah, no, I think MK Dons didn't really have to get out of second gear, if I'm honest. They passed them off the park, Ben. 650 passes compared to Wimbledon's 340. It's a bit of a joke, isn't it, the way that Liam Manning's got them playing. And it was Mo Issa slipped in nicely from midfield. I think it was I don't know if you saw the goal, Ben, but it was a pass from Cumming to Coventry. Coventry played it to Twine. Twine down through to Issa, and Issa finished it nicely. And that sort of sums up MK Dons, doesn't it? They play through the thirds, and they've got some really good players in there. And then Scott Twine. What more? What more can you say? Yes, he's arrogant. Yes, he's a bit of a dick. But that's because he's not playing for your team. He's a joke at this level. And MK Dons are really, I think, even if they get promoted, are going to struggle to keep a hold of him purely because of the numbers that he's picking up and the performances. As for Shrewsbury, obviously they were the form side in the division really coming into this game, weren't they? Obviously they beat us last weekend 1-0. Didn't really get into the game. Daniel Udo a bit anonymous. But like Shrewsbury's season is over, isn't it, Ben? They're not got anything to play for. They know they're going to be in League One next season, and perhaps they can experiment. And we said before we came on air what a good job that he's doing, Steve Cottrell. Now's a good time to utilise his squad a bit and have a mini pre-season and see what they can do in the summer window and see how many they need to bring in and if they think they might be able to challenge next year.
I agree with that, but I also feel we said this last year as well. I felt like it's been a weighted 12 months for Shrewsbury, if I'm honest with you. I think they have the tools there in the summer to go and challenge this year. And I put a bold thing out.
You did.
If you remember, I thought they're the type of side, the way that they defend, I knew they'd keep clean sheets and I knew they won't concede goals. They just haven't scored goals and they haven't had the firepower. If they had that bit of, like a John Nolan type player that they had, 4 or 5 years ago, and the Wally of 4 or 5 years ago, those types of players, I think they would be, be up there, but they just haven't got it. And I think the good thing with them, I think they're only a short turnaround. I think they're going to be maybe a 7 in or a 7 out. I think they're going to be, it won't be a big summer for them, and I think they'll improve next year.
Where are we going? Where are we going next, Benjamin?
We'll go to Plymouth. We'll go all the way down to Plymouth. 325 miles away from my gaff. A bit nearer for you because you live in Midlands and you have all the, a bit of shorter trips and Mel when you have to drive over 2 hours, don't you?
Yeah, all right. No, look, Ben. Plymouth, we challenged them to go and get a result like this, didn't we? We said, yes, you've been very good, excellent recently. Go and beat Oxford on Saturday. And, well, they were fortunate. Yeah. I think there was a massive incident in the first half. I think Argyle fans will know which one I'm talking about, where Gavin White is played in and he's onside and he's taken down. It should be a penalty to Oxford and it should be a red card. Changes the game completely. Obviously, Oxford go and score that penalty. Plymouth are a man down. They probably go and win the game, given Oxford record away from home. But you need that slice of luck, don't you? That lady luck, and Plymouth got it. And then they sort of enforced their own game. Their only shot on target came, and it was wow. You seen the goal, Ben? Joe Edwards, boom, volley.
He can produce that quality, can't he?
He can, yeah. And do you know what, Ben? We saw it last season. I think he scored twice against Lincoln last season in the FA Cup and the league, and he's got it in his locker. And they played this well without Grant at left back. So they had Law coming at left back. Conor Grant's been fantastic, hasn't he? And Law came in, and you wouldn't have known that they played anyone else. But for Oxford, obviously, it's a bit of a damning defeat, gets them out the top 6. But for Plymouth, probably all dare I go and be ballsy, but probably all but secures their playoff spot, really, for me. Then
agree. I agree, and it's a great result for them. It's also 7 clean sheets in 8 is unbelievable. 10 wins out of 13 is unbelievable. It's unprecedented. We're talking about Wigan and Rotherham and MK Dons. No one's mentioning this Plymouth side. They're going to fall off as soon as low left. They just thrived upon it, and I love this side. And we talked off air. How many sides play a back 3 in League One? And I think we had 12, 13 teams. And we went, okay, how many teams do you think stick with a 3-5-2, but also use it to their advantage and play it really, really effectively? And we are probably down to one hand, maybe 3 or 4. Plymouth straight away was the number 1 favourite. And we talk about Joe Edwards getting that quality. He's probably the 5th most talked about player in that side in terms of quality. A match winner. You think Danny Mayer. You think of a Ryan Hardy. You think of a Luke Jeffcott. Yeah. You think, these types of players all in front of him. And they're so solid at the back as well. And 45 points straight from 21 home games. This is against a good Oxford side. I don't think Brannigan was anywhere to be seen on Saturday, which is a worry. They've won the last 6 home games, Plymouth. The last loss to Rotherham at home 1-0. And then a certain Lincoln City won there 2-1 just before that as well. Oxford, no winning 2 seems bad for them. They've drawn 1. That's the standards that they've set. But not winning 2, all of a sudden they've gone from, they're definitely going into the playoffs to, Wednesday. And, all the sides around them, Wednesday and Sunderland are taking off for their weaknesses. Where Sunderland have taken 6, they've only taken 1. That's a 5-point swing. The last 6, Jake, for Oxford, I've got them having 11 points. Where do you see it? Morecambe away, I've got them winning. Sunderland at home, I've got them getting a point because I think they're good against good sides at home. I've got them winning away at Fleetwood. I've got them losing at home to Rotherham. I've got them getting a point away at MK Dons and beating Doncaster on the last game of the season. That takes them to 80 points. If you don't get into the playoffs with 80 points, then they can't do anything more, I don't think.
It's difficult. I honestly think I can see them getting 9 points. I think 11's is a bit nice. I think they'll beat the 3 sides that they're supposed to.
But lose against MK.
Against Morecambe, Doncaster and Fleetwood. Sorry, Ben. And I think that Sunderland under Alex Neil, which we're going to come on to in a second, are formidable away from home, and they're really good at the minute. And MK Dons and Rotherham are the other two, probably 2 of the only better sides in this league than Oxford. So tough ask, but it's really interesting to see because we thought Oxford was searched for the playoffs, and now we're questioning it. So it's good.
It's ridiculous.
What a division!
Absolutely.
And it's going to be such a shame, Ben, for you not to be involved next season. I feel so bad for you.
Right, okay. You want to play those games? I tell you what, I'd love it if we beat them. I'd love it. You still got to go to the library and get something.
Yeah, right.
That's what it is.
Should we go on to Sunderland?
You're going to come and get something, but you still got to come and do it.
Right. Should we move on to Sunderland, Ben?
We'll move on to Sunderland. Go on then, mate.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question, right? Sunderland, Ben. 1-0 win, last minute. Common goal scorer on the scoreline. Not someone we've seen for a couple of weeks. Nathan Broadhead. How important is him coming back to fitness going to be for Sunderland?
Huge, because you've got another striker, you've got another option. All of a sudden, since Little Defoe retired, you all think, oh crap, we're a bit short there. You think, I know Patrick Roberts has been really good lately. I know Clark's been really influential lately. And Stewart's got 22 League One goals. He's very patchy player where he won't score in 5 and you'll go and get 8 and 4. He's one of those, but he's one of the best. I don't think he is, but he is one of the best strikers in League One. And Broadhead just adds to that a bit of height, a bit of physicality, and the ball comes in and he's knocked it home. And the goal adds confidence. It's a clean sheet at home. It's a 1-0 win, the best scoreline 1-0 for me. Gillingham very resolute, which fair play to them. I think it's very harsh on them because I think for what they did and what they battled, they deserved a point. I also said that when they played away at Ipswich, they deserved a point. If they go and get those 2 points where they conceded, fairly late goals, I think Gillingham are maybe only 2 wins away from safety. But huge result. I think it's huge for Sunderland, huge for Nathan Broadhead. And I said when they had 10 games to go, they need around 78 points. And I think they need 80. But I still see them being there because of the fixtures that they've got, and at home it's a tough place to go this stage of my life. I don't like it because I've got to walk up about 35 flights of stairs just to get to my chicken bolty. Never mind what the players think when they're playing in front of 30,000 people.
No, and it pardon me, it would be fair to say that Alex Neil's got them going, hasn't he?
Yeah, huge.
We said this about Lee Johnson perhaps 18 months, maybe just under 18 months ago when they had that spell of really good form.
Seriously bottled it last year.
They had what a shame that was, though, Ben. That they bottled it in the playoffs.
I don't mean they bottled it in the playoffs. I think with 8 games to go, they were level of points with second with a game in hand. This is not the first time. And in the playoffs, first leg, Lincoln just got at them, smashed them away from home. When the going went tougher at Lincoln, big Conor McGrandle, who was the best player on the day away at Sunderland, come up with a big goal. It's just these fine margins for Sunderland that are keeping them in League One. And it's horrendous. It's 46
Tom
games.
Hopper, Ben. It was Tom Hopper, not Conor McGrandle. It was Tom Hopper. Yeah,
but McGrandle's had a big play in that game.
Yeah, great ball.
I thought when he came on, he changed the game.
Biggest game in our history, mate. That one. No, look. One from one playoff contender, Ben. We're going to go and talk about another now. Sheffield Wednesday. Look, these two have really helped you out this weekend, haven't they? They obviously Sunderland beat Gills. Wednesday have beaten Wimbledon. Massive favour for you. Massive favour. 92nd minute. Lee Gregory. We said this a couple of weeks ago that a goal would kickstart him. Is this goal going to be the one? Especially in the circumstances to keep Wednesday in touching distance. Are Wednesday going to get in the playoffs, Ben?
tough question. It's huge for Gregory and it's huge for Wednesday. For me, they won 3 of the last 5, Jake, 11 points out of 5 games, 15 points. For Wimbledon, I think that's no result in 22. It's tough because they deserved a point.
They did.
The thing is, I think we're now down to MK and Plymouth are definitely in the playoffs. And I think you've got to look at between Wednesday, were 5th currently, Sunderland, Wycombe, and Oxford are the 4, aren't they? Now, it's so tough because I don't want to. I'm getting splinters here. You do want
to come out and say it, Ben. I think
Wednesday get in. But I also can't look past Oxford nicking 6th because I think they play the best way. They always get a goal. I think Wycombe, I think they've struggled in a lot of games this year and they've got through just. And I think if Wycombe got into the playoffs, I think it's a different matter. And I think I would fancy them to win the playoffs. It's bizarre that we're talking about a side that might not even get in it, but if they get in it and squeezing it, I'm thinking they're going to win the playoffs because just the way they play over 3 games, I just think it's perfect for them, the playoff. And they've proven it in recent years for me. I think they get in, but I want to ask you a question. Wimbledon appointed a new manager last week.
They did.
Is that going to be enough? Because I've got them staying up. Have you?
Look, I don't know if you know much about Bowen. He was director of football, technical director or whatever at Reading. Reading sacked their manager, and he appointed himself. So that tells you all about the ego of this man. Obviously, he'll say they deserved a point on Saturday. I think they probably did. But just to quickly flip it onto Wednesday, 6 months ago they draw this game 1-1.
Yeah, 100%.
It shows you how far they've come. But on Wimbledon, obviously they'll think they deserved a point. Asal, really good footballer, gone on train with England recently over the last international break. Probably going to get a League One move in the summer. I think that would be fair.
Maybe in Oxford.
Look, the new manager bounce, Ben, can go to one of 2 ways. You've got Derek Adams. Yes, they won Saturday, but they've not been great under Derek Adams. Or it can go the Neil Harris way.
Not though, mate.
It can go the Neil Harris way. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a gamble you've got to take, especially when you've not won in 20 games. What worse can you do? I still got Wimbledon to go down. I think they're really poor. I would brandish them in one of the worst teams I've seen Lincoln play this season, and I think that this sort of sums a year up. Really playing really well in games, but not getting over the line. And I think they've lost 30 points, Ben, from winning positions this season. You add 30 points onto Wimbledon, they're clearly safe. They're at the opposite end of the table. So. No, Bowen's got a bit of a job to do, hasn't he? And I don't think he's going to keep him up. Unfortunately for them, because they're a really well-run club, really good set of fans, and I'm sure they'll smash it in League Two. But I just think that they can't buy a win at the minute, and I think they're going to struggle.
I agree. We're going to come to some comments just quickly. Sunderland versus Sheffield Wednesday playoff final, 90k at Wembley. 2 proper football clubs,
not for
really.
Me. Not
the
for me.
2 biggest clubs in League One for me.
Yeah. Not the playoff final though, Ben. Not that won't be the playoff final. MK Dons. If MK Dons are not automatically,
the thing is,
it's them.
I'd love to see MK Dons Oxford. I've said it all season, haven't I? I'm just fascinated by that game of football.
Yeah. MK Plymouth won't be a bad one either, Ben. MK Plymouth will be a good playoff final.
Yeah, anything really. Anything's better than Blackpool Lincoln, eh? Sunderland doing it. Players are ordered in Plymouth Wednesday. Sunderland, wow. Yeah, we did early in the show. If you want to go back. Again, keep liking and supporting the podcast. Got 52 of you in, 31 likes. Keep liking and subscribing. Again, we'll go to Wycombe next. I think we've been pretty much over everyone, haven't we, after this one. Great result. They're celebrating the career of Anyway Joachim Benmore. He's not stuffed it yet. I do apologise. No, again, a brilliant career. And you think to yourself, well, he's not been at Wycombe long. Well, he has. He's been there, 5-6 years now? I think he's got, over 60 goals for Wycombe as well. Obviously been involved in a League Two fight and a League One promotion as well. So, he's been a real influential player for them. Even for 5 minutes in game, he comes on and makes a difference where he can knock things on. And he has got some speed on him for the size of him. 12 wins to 21 at home, Jake, for them. Another clean sheet. I know they're playing Doncaster, but a win's a win. 16 clean sheets. David Stockdale, one of the most clean sheets in League One now. Again, next two at home for Doncaster. I think we said they're done. If they're going to win the next 2 games, they're right back in it. But I think they're going to have to win every game of football now, Doncaster, aren't they?
Yeah. No, on Wycombe, obviously, it was Bayo. He came through at Doncaster. So I think it was a good touch for Doncaster to do that for him as well. I think he's their top scorer in the EFL history as well. So it shows you how good a bloke he is, isn't he? I've been around him off the pitch before, Ben. He's a really top bloke. Really easy to interview. Really nice guy. But it was the story of Anis Mehmeti,
very good player, very good player.
Albanian lad, come through at Wycombe, an assist for Gareth McCleary, and then he goes and scores himself, which was massive for him. Wycombe don't lose at home; well, they very rarely lose at home. But Doncaster, we've said they're done, but like you say, Ben, they're going to get 6 points from 6. Then
huge.
That what does that take them up to? That takes Doncaster up to 36 points. That's only 1 point behind you, Ben. Not to scare you, but no, it's difficult, isn't it? I'm just trying to see who Donny have got in the next 2 games. So they've got Crewe and Bolton.
Both at home. The El
maybe...
Clasico on Saturday.
Oh, he's going with that again. Do you know what, Ben? I can see them winning 3 of their last 6 games. I can see them beating Crewe. I can see them beating Shrewsbury. And Burton, well, we've said how bad Burton are recently. I can see them beating Burton. And I think it's just Bolton and Oxford. Is 9 points enough for Doncaster? No. 39 points isn't enough, Ben.
No, I agree. I think you need to get in your foot. If you're staying up with 39 points, then...
League One's been bad. League One has been awful if you're staying up with 39 points.
Exactly. It's been so good at the top 6, but awful the other 18, I think. No, I think that's unfair. Good the top 9, awful the last 17. Now, quickly, Jake, we'll just do predictions for tomorrow. Wimbledon, Charlton. I see Wimbledon win here.
I
just think Charlton up and down.
Disagree.
Bit shaky. I think Wimbledon tomorrow's the day.
Draw for me. Both teams, absolutely. Well, Charlton will be looking for a response, obviously, after Saturday. Wimbledon will be earmarking this as a game that they can win. Both teams don't like getting over the line, so I think this is either 1-1 or 0-0. I don't think there's anything to shout about here.
Fair enough. Cambridge, Wycombe. I think Wycombe get a win here. I think Cambridge, I think the legs will be a little bit tired from Saturday, if I'm honest with you. I think it's hard to go Saturday, Tuesday. You have to go away at Ipswich. Big pitch, big stadium, winning 1-0, very demanding on the players. And I think Wycombe have a way of grinding teams down when they go and get tougher. What do you think, Jake?
With you, Wycombe win for me.
Yeah.
Wycombe have obviously that need for the points to make sure they finish in the playoffs. Cambridge season's finished. Although it made no difference on Saturday, did it? So, no, I think Wick will just about squeeze home. I don't think it'll be comfortable, but no, I can see it 2-1, 1-0. That's the Gareth Ainsworth way, unfortunately, isn't it?
That's the best way, and that's why I think in the playoffs, I think it could be really effective. Now, the League One, roundup.
Save the best game till last, Ben. Save the game till last. Save it till last.
Well, we'll come back to it.
We'll do the tin pot games first.
I haven't got gear on today, so I would say fight me, but I've only got a tracking on today, so I'm not really, ready for action. MK Dons Crewe.
Yeah, easy.
MK Dons, unbelievable, 1 defeat in 19.
Yeah.
Really good at home, don't concede goals. Crewe lost 30 the last 14. 1-0 Crewe all over it.
Literally, yeah. I was about to say the same thing. I was about to say the same thing.
I think MK Dons will win it, but I think it'll be tight. I think it'll maybe 1-0 or 2-1. I can see Crewe getting a goal either early on. I can just think that, I don't know. I think maybe tomorrow there's huge pressure where everyone's just going MK Dons.
Gives me Doncaster vibes when they played Doncaster over Christmas. MK Dons are absolutely fantastic. I think they're already home in terms of the playoffs. Yes, they'll probably mathematically need to pick points up to make sure they finish as high as they can. But I think Crewe can go there and shock them a little bit.
Yeah, agree. Morecambe Oxford, I think Morecambe are revitalised. Now, I always wonder what Morecambe players will think, because they won 3-0 at the weekend. They kept a clean sheet, and it's the first win in a long, long while, I think like 13 matches. But seeing that, I know they probably expected Fleetwood to beat Crewe, but seeing that the reward really didn't do anything for their position, and they're still 2 points off, and they've got to go and do it again, that might, I don't know, I think that might put a little bit of gloom on that result a little bit, where they think, maybe not, but it's how they react now. I think they've got some tough games when Oxford are a good side. Oxford
out of form, Oxford though, Ben. So
they've drawn one and lost one.
Yeah, but that's out of form. That's out of form for them.
That's how good side Oxford are, because they've drawn one and lost one.
Yeah. And look, Oxford at times, when they're bad, they're horrific. Like when they are bad, when they're not on it, Ben, they are not good at all. We sort of saw that in January when we beat them 2-0. Just to drop that in, and I think Morecambe are gonna do something. I honestly think Morecambe will. I think they're going to get a point. I think
a draw. I don't think they win. I think they draw.
Yeah,
1-1
I think a goal fest in terms of a 2-2, a 3-3.
Because both sides don't scoring, but both like Oxford conceded 50 goals this year.
Yeah,
but score loads of goals.
Matty Taylor hat trick written all over it, isn't it?
And Cole Stockton again, 2 of the top 5 strikers in the league, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Wigan win for me. I think Wigan absolutely. I think Atkinson concede goals. I think, and then Bolton, Portsmouth didn't play at the weekend, did they? So I think they've had a bit of a rest, where they had a busy period, didn't they? Where I think they played Saturday, Tuesday for like 3 or 4 weeks running, didn't they? So I think a draw in that one for me.
Pompey for me. I'm going to back my mate Danny Cowley. He's a better manager than Ian Evatt, I think. I think he's got a better squad than Ian Evatt.
Don't let him say that. They've got the best squad in the league, the best manager in the league. Everything in the league.
And Pompey have also got Tyler Walker, which makes me cry to sleep most nights. So, Pompey just about for me.
Right, just pretend I've got Stone Island here. Fleetwood Lincoln, come on, man. What are we saying, big boy?
Well, the game means more for you than it does for us. So,
great. Dodgy pitch as well, which cancelled it last time after our.
Yeah, but we made 6 changes at Cheltenham on Saturday, and it worked. And Marquis didn't start. Hopper didn't start. Bridcutt played an hour, so Bridcutt we're expecting to play closer to 90 minutes. If Liam Brickett's in their team, Ben, I'm confident we'll get something from the game.
I think it'll be a draw for me.
I would be disappointed if we got beat, but I think, I have to be positive, I think. And you guys at the moment, obviously, yes, you beat Crewe, but who doesn't beat Crewe?
Yeah.
Us.
MK,
our away record,
Cheltenham.
Our away record's not bad. So
no, I think it's 8th best in the league, isn't it?
So I genuinely think we're going to win 2-1 tomorrow night. I
could see that. I think it's going to be either a you win or we get a point. I think if Fleetwood can get 4 from the next 2, going into the last 5 games of the season.
Massive.
I said if Fleetwood get over 6 points, I'll be happy. If they got 7 from these next 3, Crewe started, I'll be over the moon. We've got 4 more to get. The next 4 are tough. Now, Crewe 12 points adrift. They could be relegated tomorrow, basically. They could be relegated on goal difference. On Saturday, it could be mathematically. And normally when that happens, a team, but like Tony, I saw Artel's interview before the game where he described it as the biggest game in their lives, and you're not listening to it anymore. I think Doncaster will go down. I don't think they're going to get 12, 13 points from the last 5.
No.
Wimbledon, I think, will still be up with a shout. I know they've lost the last 5 games, as you can see on the form table there. Then Morecambe 35, they're in with a chance. It's a great result for them. I think we're looking at the bottom now. Wimbledon, Morecambe, Gillingham and Fleetwood at the bottom 4. And then I think we're looking at a 14 playoff race between Wycombe, Oxford, Sunderland and Wednesday. I think you look at Argyle, the 5 points above Wednesday. I know they played 1 more game, the form that they're in. MK Dons are 10 above that line as well. Plymouth are 8 above that line. And then Wednesday have 3 points on Oxford. Sunderland have a point on Oxford. It's in their hands. But normally when it's in Wednesday's and Sunderland's hands, Jake, they normally bottle it a little bit.
Yeah, look, it's 2 from 4 at both ends of the table, isn't it? Look, I'll start with the top end because that's
even for
more
automatic
interesting.
promotion, Jake, as well. Plymouth and MK Dons, I know they played more games.
Yeah.
If they win all 5, if MK Dons win, go and get 15
if they get
points.
12 points. They get 12
They're going to
points.
get 15 points from the next 6 games. They'll go up top 2.
Yeah.
If they can't go up top 2 with 94 points, then
granted.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Rotherham and Wigan are the best 2 sides in the league, but MK Dons are pushing it close.
But look, Wigan, I think, are the ones that will win the league. Yeah. I know Rotherham have lost twice in their last 5 and they've won once. But Paul Warne knows how to go up, Ben. You saw, I don't know if you saw how good they played against Sutton United in the last sort of half an hour yesterday afternoon. Look, they can tear anybody apart.
To win it.
And look, I just think that the experience that those 2 teams have of getting promoted out of this league is enough. Yeah. Yes, MK Dons are phenomenal. MK Dons and Plymouth are both phenomenal. But those 2 are going to have to settle for the playoffs for my table. I think Wednesday are the next team that, look, Wednesday, Wednesday, I'm going to say, I think Wednesday are they going to be the team that fall out. And Wednesday fans won't like that. But they
what I normally do, Jake, just put the team with the lowest amount of fans out so you get less bites, so you get less hate.
No, do you know what, but I've got absolutely no issue with Wednesday fans coming after me. I have no issue. I don't think they're very good. They've not been very good against us either side this season.
The season's killed them.
And it's like we said, like when we were speaking about them then, 6 months ago they'd have drawn that game against Wimbledon. Do you know what I mean? And it's that sort of problem. They drew at home to Gillingham. They drew at home to us. They drew at home. Oh God, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they've drawn at home too many times, like Sunderland did when they first came down. And I think it will be Sunderland, and I think it will be Oxford purely for their know-how of how to get goals to the top 6. Oxford obviously last year crept in last minute. Wouldn't be surprised to see them do it again. But Sunderland at the minute in similar form to Wednesday, but I just think that Sunderland, given Nathan Broadhead's come back and they've got easier games for me, I think Shrewsbury, Cambridge, even Rotherham might be up by that point. Rotherham might be on the beach, and then Morecambe. Look, I can see Sunderland winning 4 in the next 6. So
I think Wednesday more likely than Sunderland for me. Personally,
well, Ben. This is why it's so interesting because we both disagree. If we agreed the whole show, Ben, how crap would this show be?
To be fair, it's good because when you say 100 things about football and you agree with one, I'm pretty shocked. And that's a really good thing about it. Now, I'm only joking. I agree. It's going to be a tough one to predict because. You talk about Sunderland Ultras know-how. They've had a lot of it. Come on. This is Sunderland's 4th year in League One. This is Oxford's 3rd go at the players, so they should be experiencing it. To be honest, they're experiencing failure in League One. Yeah. Oxford, I think that's a bit harsh on them, but last year was their year. The previous year, I thought, nah. The last year, I thought, no offence. Overall, I thought they were better than Lincoln. I thought they were equal, Oxford, with Blackpool. Yeah. And they got Blackpool humiliated them in the semi-finals. They were really good, Blackpool, and that's where the game was won in the semi-finals. And that's the thing with Oxford, the way they play, they can either be really open and concede loads of goals, or they can't. So it's just one of those. We will predict Saturday. We might do a show late in the week, all being well with time. Can you answer the question about Portsmouth have 3 games in hand? Not a chance.
Portsmouth for the playoffs. Danny Cowley's a god, Ben, but he's not that good. Come on.
I'm not being funny. They're on 59 points, right? That's 8 games to go. We're talking, right, the teams may need 80 points to get in. You're saying they're going to have to win 7 of the last 8. I don't see it.
No, not for me.
I think they maybe win 5, draw 1, lose 2. I said Portsmouth would be where they are now because the squad, in my opinion, isn't that good. They're okay. There's a lot of good players. But with Merge and Ipswich, they've got 20 lemons in the bag, maybe 8 are all right and 12 aren't. And that's whereas Wigan and Rotherham have 25 and 23 or 24 of them are really good.
And Pompey Ben have got playing teams that have things to play for. You know, they're playing Rotherham, who have something to play for. Morecambe, Gillingham, Wigan, and Wednesday all have something to play for. You'd argue that only us and Cheltenham are the teams that they've and Bolton are those that haven't got anything to play for. So they're going to be
okay, but
5
for me,
tough games for them.
Again, Paul's for a good sign. I think the fan base is unbelievable, but I think they're a way off. And I think if you look at the squad, that they're a bit like a League One Tottenham Hotspur for me, where they come so close with a good team, a great team that they put together over the years, and slowly it dissembled. If you look at it, Jay, you think what they had. Say when they played Sunderland that trophy 3 years ago, Jamel Lowe gone. Brett Pittman has obviously, dropped down the leagues as well. He was a big player for them 3-4 years ago as well. Craig McGilvery, one of the best goalkeepers in League One, I still think he's up there with Charlton. He's gone. Lee Brown, again, 3 years older, now at Wimbledon. Watmore, again, moved on. Tom Clark, Clark at the back has moved on as well. Who else have you got? You've got Naylor and Ben Close have moved on as well. Nathan Thompson was a big part of that. Oil spill for Portsmouth, I'd say as well. Ronan Curtis, I know, has come in. I know they've had Marcus Harner's come in. I know they've had John Marquis come in.
John and Ellis Harrison. John Marquis.
I know we've done well for other football clubs at the bottom of League One. Shock. When the expectation isn't up there. But I think when you look at that, I think if they had Danny Cowley 3 years ago, they'd be in the Championship by now with that squad. Easily. Kenny Jackson was not the right man with that squad because they've come so close too many times and not done enough with it. And maybe they've had the time, and maybe it's going to be a couple of years of hurt for Portsmouth to get back to that period. You could also describe it a bit like Arsenal. They had those years of hurt. They rebuilt, got a few of the younger players in, and now they're thriving upon it. Probably need to give Cowley time. Spot on.
Agreed.
You know when he came in? Because he came in just over a year ago, didn't he? I went, give him 3.5 years. Now, the first half year doesn't matter. You waste that away. You literally go, no, what do I want for next year? This year was always going to be right. A bit like Russell Martin at MK does. Where do we finish this year? Okay, 9th, 10th, I don't think it's too bad. Next year, right, we do better. We get 70 points this year. We get 75. 75, I think, gets us in the playoffs. In a normal League One season, 75 points will get you in there. I think it does. They go and get it. If they do that, they're in the playoffs. If you miss out, the third year is the performing year where you go up or you stay up in the Championship. That, I think, is a realistic 3-year plan. They need to go and get it. How are we going to do it? This is how we do it. You look at what football clubs like Wigan have done it, Oxford have done it, Blackpool have done it, Wycombe have done it. These football clubs that are doing really well have done it. Whereas Sunderland, Ipswich, Portsmouth, to your like, I've put something on a piece of paper and gone, there's a checkbook, there you go. Whereas Plymouth, another one, I've had a plan put together, stick with a manager, and if something happens, a contingency plan, we go and do this. So, for me, as well, guys, got any comments or questions for the last 5 minutes of the chat as well? Stuart has been stuck on 22 goals for weeks. He's like a domino, isn't he, Jake? Where he won't score for weeks, then he'll go and get one, and he'll go and get 5 or 6. He's like any other striker in League One.
Yeah, no, he's a really effective striker, and obviously he's been up with Scotland, hasn't he, over the last couple of weeks, so sort of shows he's getting recognition. I think there's talks of a new contract going on as well, which I'm sure he'll be happy with, and many Sunderland fans will be happy with. A really good centre-forward for the way that Alex Neil likes to play. He's a good centre-forward for the way Lee Johnson wanted to play as well. So, no, really good centre-forward, knows where the back of the net is. Should do when he plays in a team that creates maybe 5 or 6 good chances a game, shouldn't he? So, no, one of the best centre forwards in the I nearly said in the world, Ben, in the league. He's one of the best centre forwards in the league.
Spot on, Tony. Now, when he was coming to his end time at Burton, I wanted Nigel Clough. I'll be honest with you. I honestly believe, I know he was at Burton at the time, You give Nigel Clough the money that Joey Barton had, I don't think Fleetwood are in the position that they are now. Now, they might still be in League One, but they might be doing a lot better than League One. That's all I'm going to say, Jake, for me.
I'm not giving Mansfield any credit.
Mate, come on. I know they've got a really good... I know they've splashed the money about, but what he has his board members and he has his coaching staff that he knows and he trusts. He brings players in that he's worked before. They are basically expert in FC. But if it works, it works.
Yeah, I like Cloughie. I think he's a good manager. I think he was probably unfortunate not to get the Forest job a few years ago. Obviously, he's ended up at Mansfield, which unfortunate for him. Obviously, we've got a bit of a rivalry with Mansfield, so I shan't speak too highly. And I kind of want them. There's a question in the chat asking them who's going to come up from League Two. I think Mansfield might.
Look at that. Forest Green Rovers are going to come up for me.
Yeah, have you seen?
I know they've been poor lately.
Their man's out with an ACL, isn't he? Stevens is out with an ACL now, so that will damage them.
But they've got Jamil Matt.
Yeah, I mean he's not bad. Look, I kind of want Mansfield to come up. I kind of want them to come up purely so that we have a local derby.
By the way, right, 61 points Sutton in 11th. You've got Swindon on 62. Salford on 62 have been on a really good run lately, by the way, Salford, and won the last 4. Newport 63. Then you got Tranmere 64. You got Mansfield 66. Bristol Rovers FC 66. Northampton 66, slip of the tongue. Port Vale 66. Exeter 71.
Yeah.
Now, I think Port Vale get into the top 3. Now, what I like about Port Vale, football club 5 years ago, they were a mess. Now, Vale Park was a soul, and it was like grim. Now, the owner there, that Carol Sharman, is she called? Anyway, see what she does? I listened to Jamie Proctor speak, one of their main men. I think he's got 10 goals this season. And he basically said, well, what we don't have, we don't have a big budget, but that budget goes into facilities. It goes into good coach travel, good nutrition, good coaching staff. So the players are well looked after. When you've got that at football club and you've got players saying that, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I knew Port Vale were good. They don't lose many times as well, Port Vale. I think those top 3 will come up. Now, I fancy Mansfield out of everyone. I just think Bristol Rovers in the playoffs. I think Mansfield or North. It's Mansfield, Northampton for me between those two. If they play each other in the semi-final, one goes up. Obviously, if they play each other in the final, one goes up.
Ooh, for me, I agree that Forest Green are going to win the league. I've just got a sneaky feeling that
Exeter bottle it all the time.
Yeah, they do. I just got a feeling Stags are going to nick that 3rd spot. I've got a feeling it's going to be Forest Green, Port Vale, and Stags, and I think Exeter will drop into the playoffs. They've got a 5-point gap, Ben, but with a league like this, you lose 2 games, they look out of it.
As well, by the way, for Stags.
Look, I think Tranmere want to keep an eye out on. I think Newport with Dom Telford scoring goals for fun. You can't not.
I think Salford deserve a shot because of the run that they've been on.
Yeah, and even Swindon. Swindon, Harry McCurdy obviously doing really well.
He's injured out for the season.
They had Simpson, didn't they? Who's at Ipswich, and then Sutton United. Sutton United on Sunday, Ben, were fantastic against Rotherham United, and we used that competition as a bit of a springboard to get us in the League Two playoffs this season. But the season we first came up, I'm hoping Sutton can do the similar because they are a really well-run football club, really nice ground, really nice people. But I think it will be Forest Green, Stags, Port Vale, and I think we're going to see the return of Joey Barton.
I tell you what, right? You know something? What it's like having, right, is Bristol Rovers coming up, right? I like Bristol Rovers as a football club, right? But Joey Barton doing it there, right? Especially after all the things he said about the football club after he left, which was an impact. I love Joey, but he was an embarrassment when he got sacked, I thought. All I'm going to say is, Fleetwood going down and Bristol Rovers coming up, it's like playing a game of Red House and either getting it by a Mitre or a Delta football or one of those old classic, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to come to the comments quickly before we do head off. What have you seen Dominic Thompson? I like Dominic Thompson. I think he's a very consistent 6 or 7 out of 10. Do I think he's one of the best left backs or full backs in League One? No. But what I do think is, I think he gives you a 7 out of 10 every week. I think that he is one of those types of players. If you're winning games of football, nothing said. I think now you've lost on Saturday. I think Ipswich fans will come at him. I think he's just a steady player. I watched him at Fleetwood. I thought he was quite good. I thought maybe because, we have a dodgy back three as it is, so he might have had some joy that day. But I've only seen him once this season. And I saw him that day and I thought, okay, the other highlights that I've seen of him, he's always looked good. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter. I think that Vincent Young maybe better, but what I've seen, I think, Argyle keep proving people wrong. Absolutely. Probably the standout performers of this season for me, them and MK Dons. Because we always expected Rotherham and Wigan to be up there. No disrespect.
Agreed. And look, yes, they've got loads of top 6 teams to play, Ben, but they went and beat Oxford, didn't they? So they could easily go and beat a lot of the other top 6 sides they've still got left to play.
Absolutely. And huge. There's 6 or 7 games left to go yet, mate. And it's going to be a big end to the season. Now, we are going to look to do one of these shows with some relegation sides. So obviously, I'll be representing Fleetwood. I'll be representing. We'll get maybe yourself on if you want to come on for Morecambe. We'll get a Wimbledon, and we'll get hopefully Matt on from Gillingham as well. And then we'll do a promotion episode as well. So we will have that in the next few weeks put up for you as well. And maybe if the next couple of results go as well, we can get Lincoln dragged into that as well, Jake.
You've been lucky, mate. I don't think you're going to catch us on 45 points, are you?
No, I don't think so as well. I think a draw. Now then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Before we go, Jake, plug your channel, mate. Go on, plug it.
Station West Podcast. Lincoln City-based podcast. We do. I do the preview videos, which me and Nappers are just about to go and film for tomorrow's game. Over on YouTube, we're trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the season. We've got 5 weeks and we need 70. So it's going to be a bit of a push, but hopefully we can do it. Come and subscribe, listen to the podcast, leave comments, subscribe, do all your stuff. Follow me on Twitter, Jake_Tong98. Be great to have some football debates with some intellectuals, hopefully. Come and check me out. And hopefully we can have some good football discussions going into next season. A lot of good stuff planned. So, yes, that's me done, Ben. Look at you.
Brilliant. And again, barring Portsmouth fans, you don't really get along with them, do you, Jay?
All Wednesday fans, Ben. You've put me off, Ben. I've gone. Where am I gone?
You'll be back. You'll be back. Don't you worry. I went off a few minutes ago. You've had your limelight. Again, thanks very much for watching, guys. There's 44 of you in the chat now, which is unbelievable. Again, we're getting thousands of viewers tuning in every week. So if you could subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Get the notification bell on because we'll have a vlog tomorrow. Jake will be appearing from home because he's being, a bit of a baby and in his bed by 11 o'clock. So, he won't be coming up. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Notifications as well. Go and give Jake a sub. And Jake, any final words, son?
Sheffield Wednesday fans, come and find me. I'd like to have a chat with you. I think I've got a bit of stick off Wednesday fans in the playoffs. I'm more than happy to say why you won't finish them, but come and have a word. Come and give us a kiss.
All right, brilliant. Yeah, you again. Fleetwood will stay up. I've got no doubt in that. No doubt that Fleetwood will stay up. And I know it's going to come back and bite me, but I believe in those group of players that will get us through. I think it'll be tight. I think it could go down to the last game of the season, but we'll be okay this season. And you come and play this back to me, no doubt whatsoever. I know. I can just see it coming in my head now. I can see the Twitter. I can see what's coming at me, but we will stay up this season. And
they've scored. Wigan have scored.
And again, if Fleetwood do go down, I hope you enjoy your end of season debrief with Jake, because I'll be going to Papua New Guinea, believe me. Booking on that business or pleasure, neither. Anyway, we've had a laugh, we've had a joke. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Your support is always appreciated. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Up the cods, Jake.
Up the Imps, boys. Come on.
All right, and we'll leave you with a banner out for the last 30 seconds. Leave a like, leave a subscription. We'll see you in a bit.